Welcome to the Calm Confident Parenting Workshop here. This is a 3-day workshop that is promising to help you to know how to be parenting in a way where you feel more calm and confident. We have 3 days here that are really going to get us to that place. So the first day today, we're talking about parenting smarter, not harder. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how we can encourage cooperation, to have our children really excited and willing to cooperate with us. And day 3 on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about how we can have the best question to be able to end daily power struggles. Each day is going to be 20 minutes long, power packed. So keep showing up so that you can get the full content of the 3 keys to calm, confident parenting. And you may have questions that come up during this workshop. And so I'm offering a special thing this time of the workshop that I've never done before, which is a front row seat. So if you find yourself having questions, you'd like to be able to talk directly to me, let's do it. I'm offering a time after the workshop that will be what I call the front row. So for just $27, you can have access today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to 30-minute session after the call. It'll be a group, but you get to be face-to-face with me and ask any and all questions, and also a bonus session Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. Montana time. So if that's something you're interested in, just put in the chat box right now the word front row, and I'll make sure that I get you that access and you can stay on with me right after this material has ended. And thirdly, I want to really show up for you the way that you're ready to show up this week. So if you're here just wanting to get a couple of tips, just sit back, relax, and get some really valuable content. If you're really ready to make some impactful changes in your family, then please message me. I'm going to be suggesting some homework each end of the day. And when you do that homework, message it to me, personal message or email, and I will meet you where you're at. What you bring to the table, I will be there for you because I want to make sure that you really get the answers that you have been seeking. My name is Flora Mccormick, and I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor and parenting coach with over 10 years experience. And I have a 6-year-old who just had a birthday this weekend and an 8-year-old. So I'm excited to be here with you and so honored. These workshops are such a privilege to me because I find that they give me a space to interact with amazing parents like you. I mean, you showing up to this space in this workshop, carving out time for this 20 minutes, tells me that you're someone who cares deeply about parenting. And I know that we have people here that are educators, that are parents, grandparents, counselors themselves, parent educators themselves. You are here because you care deeply about parenting. And I'm so honored that you're spending your time with me. I promise to make it worth your while. The second thing that I'm guessing is true about you because you're here at this workshop is that though you care deeply about parenting, something about it has not been going how you imagined. Something has been going not how you imagined. And I wonder what that is. Has it been that you have been frustrated? Has it been that you have felt exhausted? Has it been that the kids aren't listening? What is it that has been not going how you imagined? Those of you here that are on Zoom with me, I've just put out a poll, and if you would take a second to answer that poll. Is it kids not listening? Has it been losing your temper way more than you thought you would? Has it been that you just want to feel more calm and connected because you haven't been feeling that way? Or that you want to be more equipped for those tough moments? Yeah, answers are coming in. Thank you. What is it that brings you here? And let me tell you, I put these answers on here because I have felt all of these things. I have been stuck in all of these different areas. Yeah. And I want you to know that you're not alone in experiencing these. I'm going to share the answer to the poll here in Zoom. And those of you maybe seeing these results, we have 44 or 25% saying kids not listening, 50% saying I'm losing my temper way more than I thought I would, 75 saying I just want to feel more calm and connected, and 75 saying I want to feel more equipped. You're not alone, friend. And that's one of my favorite things about having you attend this workshop, to know you're among other similar parents. So I know that you are someone who cares deeply about parenting and that something has not been going how you had imagined. And thirdly, because you're here specifically on day one, where we're talking about parenting smarter, not harder, I think what's likely true about you is you're someone that wants to spend your time wisely. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a corporate executive, you're running a school, you know that you do not have time to waste, and you are ready to have strategies that help you get there faster, smarter, not harder. And you are in the right place, friend. This is exactly what we're going to cover today. So let me tell you a little bit more about me and my most embarrassing moment of parenting. When my son was young, we decided to sign up for swim lessons. And I remember it like it's happening today. I'm walking out of the changing room with him. The sun is shining brightly. It's a nice warm day. And I'm looking forward to this fun experience because he likes the water. He likes swimming, you know, what we've been able to do. And I just want him to get more independent now. So we get out there and I put my swimsuit on as I was getting him ready because I knew he's a little slow to warm up at things. So I was going to just sit on the edge with him for a bit and make sure he got started with the class. And this is a class here at our public swimming pool out in Bozeman, Montana. And this pool is like a square with a shallow area where different age groups are all around the edge, different sides, all having their lesson at the same time. So there's about 40 or so kids getting ready for their lesson and about 40 or so parents surrounding those kids, standing or sitting behind them on the chairs, going to watch how this lesson goes. And so I sit with my son on the edge, I'm getting him settled in, the teacher comes over, other students come over, and all of a sudden he starts to lose it. Like out of nowhere, he is screaming, he is clawing at me. I'm like, you're going to do great. This is going to be fine. We're all set. We got here early enough. I'm just going to come sit over here. And he is not having it. He's screaming in my ear. He's pulling at my swimsuit. He's clawing into my skin. And I can just remember my cheeks flaring up as red as can be, my chest feeling so tight, my stomach in knots. And I just feel the eyeballs of every single parent around that pool, probably judging me and thinking like, what the heck's wrong with that kid? What the heck's wrong with that mom? And in a panic, I start to grab for any tool I can. I'm like starting with like, okay, honey, I see you're upset, but we can get through this. And then as that doesn't help it get better, I find myself bouncing over to like threats and punishments. And like, if you don't get it together, then bad things are going to happen. And then I feel bad about that. And I bounce back over to like, okay, hold on. Let's like, it's going to be fun. Swimming is cool. And then I bounce back over to like threats and consequences, and nothing makes it better. Can you relate? Would you drop an emoji or a comment if you've ever been in a place like that? Thank you. Yeah. Hands raising, people saying yes. I was making all of the 3 key mistakes that I'm going to tell you guys about today. And I was not able to get into a calm or confident place because I was making these mistakes. And I want to tell you, when I discovered the mistakes and I made key shifts, I had a dramatically different experience with Caleb. And I'm going to tell you what I did. But before I get to that, I want to help unpack what those key mistakes were so that you can know if they're going on in your life and also being a part of what's keeping you from calm, confident parenting. Because the first step is we have to know what we have to let go of. We have to know the mistake that is keeping us stuck in all the things besides calm and confidence. So there are three key things, friends, and I'm going to unpack them for you. I was parenting from the neck up. I was pinball parenting. And I was asking all the wrong questions. Let's unpack this a bit to see which one you might be able to identify as going on for you too. So the first thing is parenting from the neck up. I work with so many clients where this is something they struggle with, and I'm able to really help them because it was one of my biggest challenges. We get in this place of intellectualizing, like explaining, lecturing, talking to our kids to try to explain what needs to change and how they need to calm down. This is likely something that's been a challenge for you if you can identify that you've said things like, well, I tell him what to do differently and he'll just do the exact thing I just told him not to do. Or if you found yourself in a spot where you're like, I explained to him and I try to calm him down and I try to say how it can get better, nothing seems to help. Friends, what we end up doing is we're often intellectualizing, lecturing, explaining so much when our kids, especially in these young years before 10, are primed to be scientists, primed to be testing things. And when we get just intellectual and we're explaining, we are not meeting them where they're at. When we think about a child's brain that's upset, like Caleb in that moment, here I'm trying to explain and rationalize and talk through things. He was flooded. And think about this, our brains are kind of like, we can look at it like the brain in the palm of your hand, like Daniel Siegel tells us. That in the front, we have this logical place that understands consequences and reasoning. And then we have emotional place, our limbic system that can get triggered by frustration, embarrassment, feeling challenged. And when those things get pushed, we can come in and try to talk with our logical selves. And it's like, we're missing the mark. That brain's not activated. They're not in their rational place. And similarly, they might flip their lid. Like Caleb was like, not just a little emotional, he was super emotional. And it's that place where we've got fight, flight, or freeze. The amygdala system is what's activated. And again, if we as parents come in and we're talking and rationalizing and reasoning, it doesn't work. Has this been true for you? Have you been parenting from the neck up? Yeah. Christy says, blowing up because of miscommunication from emotions. Yes. And guess what? When our kids are flipped and then we're trying to reason and it's not working, we end up flipping our lid and everyone's just exploding. That's part of why we get into a place where we're not calm, we're not confident if we're making that mistake. So let's look at the next thing that could be the mistake holding you back. Using strategies like a pinball machine. So I don't know if I'm dating myself, but when I was a kid, my uncle had a pinball machine in his garage. And what it was is this thing where you bounce a ball up into this thing, and then there's like spinnies and bong, like little levers, but you only get to like push these two buttons, and you're hoping and praying that one of the things that it makes it do out there, flipping, spinning, is gonna keep that ball in motion and keep it where you want it to be. And I find that this, and when I would play pinball, it just felt like stressful and chaotic because I'm not really choosing, it's not feeling like an organized strategy. It feels like I'm just like grabbing at things and hoping something works, but really at the whim of where the ball would go. And I was doing this in parenting, and I see other people, my clients, doing this. And what brings them to sustainable parenting is they're like grabbing at this post from Instagram or that little blog that they saw, and why they might be independently helpful things. They're all disconnected from each other. And so that is what leads us to end up being in this struggle between like overly kind mom and then monster mom, because we're like, okay, wait, I thought I was supposed to be connected, but then maybe I need to do the tough love thing I wrote, and maybe I need to do this other thing. And it's not connected. It's like we're Frankensteining our parenting. Pinball parenting is so stressful. And we do it from a well-meaning place because we're trying to look for resources, but almost all that's out there can be both a blessing and a curse. It can really be overwhelming. So friends, I want to suggest to you to consider, if you're ready to parent smarter, not harder. Notice that pinballing and realize, I don't want to do that. I want to be in this singular place. And that's what I help my clients do, as I help them build a framework of connection, encouraging cooperation, and ownership. 3 key areas where there are many strategic things you can do that are smarter, not harder strategies. When you have a singular purpose and framework that is consistent and clear, that's how you're able to master it and feel more confident. Have you been pinball parenting and that being a part of your stress? Or maybe it's the third most common thing that I also was doing, which is asking the wrong questions. Friend, this is you. If you're like me in that moment with Caleb, I was like, why are you doing this to me? And why can't you just be different? Why can't you be like these other kids? Why can't you just think this is fun? Why? And maybe you even ask that to the kid and they just give you a blank stare. Does that ever happen? Parents tell me that a lot. It's like, oh yeah, because that question is totally useless. They often don't know. And us asking them is really putting us in a very powerless place. When we're asking the wrong question of why can't you be different? Why isn't this working? Why can't you change? That's not a powerful change stance. That's just a shame and blame stance. It's asking the wrong question. So friends, I want to ask you, what has been holding you back? Those that are live with me here in Zoom, I've launched a new poll. Is it parenting from the neck up? Is it pinball parenting? Is it asking the wrong questions? Yeah. A lot of answers coming in. And think about how much time you've wasted on that thing. Your handout, if you don't have your workbook yet, you can write the word workbook below and I'll make sure to get that to you. The Calm Confident Parenting Workbook that has fill in the blanks for each day. How much it asks you to say, wow, you know what? I realize I've spent blank amount of time making the mistake of blank, one of those 3 things. And that is largely why I find myself frustrated, having the kids not listen, not feeling calm and confident, not feeling equipped. Looks like 50% of people are saying they've been parenting from the neck up, and 50% around asking the wrong questions. And others, yeah, another few that answered with words pinballing. So it looks like there are people who have struggled in each one of these areas. And friends, I want to invite you today to think about, oh my gosh, identifying this mistake is not about making me feel bad. It means that I have a powerful place to be now. I can change those things. I can identify today if I'm the one that has been making that mistake and keeping us in these cycles that don't work, I can make a change. So I want you to identify that today and make a commitment. Message me or email me. I am going to stop the habit of blank. I'm going to stop pinball parenting. I'm going to stop wasting my time overly talking things through when it doesn't work. And I'm going to stop asking the wrong questions. And in order to move forward, friends, join me in the next portion where we are going to talk through how to encourage cooperation. I'm going to tell you what I did differently with Caleb that was smarter, not harder, that encouraged his cooperation. And when I did that, it was amazing. Like, it was such a different experience. And it's all because I was parenting from the neck down. I was using a simple, concise method that I practiced and mastered, and that I was able to ask the right effective questions. And part of these questions that I'm going to give you tomorrow, the right questions to ask in those difficult moments, it's going to give you really effective strategy, and it's in line with two key principles. One, we don't negotiate with terrorists. And two, we give power to the terrorists in the right way, in the right time. I'm going to explain what that means when you're back with me live in the next section. So join me tomorrow, 12:30 Montana Standard Time. And those that are staying on for the front row to ask any questions and be here live with me, please go ahead and stay in the room with me. Others, can't wait to hear from you and can't wait to see the changes that can be made when you're not wasting your time anymore on those key mistakes. Talk soon, guys.